that was your introduction to blockchain technology, because you had this idea that you could tokenize a bond for the senior living facility in Berkeley. And that was one of your initiatives that was really interesting to me. Is that right? Is that how you kind of got into the space?
Yeah. So looking at that issue, right? So how can we make housing that people that can't earn a bunch of money can afford, right? Seniors, right? How can we do this stuff? There are also a lot of homeless people because it overlaps, right? You have the average age of a new homeless person is over 60, right? I just got a call this morning, guy's 75 years old, sleeping on the street. So it overlaps, right? They're poor, they can't earn more, they get forced out quickly. So I was like, well, how can we make housing for them? And that same month when I took office, there were 2 deaths on the street. 2 homeless people died of exposure. And also they over-index for being African-American, which makes sense because they've never owned land, right? So it's easy to be homeless when you've never had a home or been hanging on by your fingernails to a home. So 2 guys died in the street, 2 people. We said, okay, let's figure this out. So we quickly developed a new model of housing, prefabricated micro units that you can stack up. And it seems very simple, but it had been attempted and unsuccessfully throughout the country because of the different capital issues involved and labor issues. And we are able to solve them and introduce a groundbreaking new form of housing called step-up housing, which is stackable little boxcars with service on the first floor. And now the Carpenters Union has teamed up with a huge developer and they're making them en masse. And I'm on the board of a national nonprofit that does it called Homes for the Homeless, with a 4, number 4, Homes for the Homeless. And, in my building, step-up housing is coming up next couple of months. Very proud of that. And then from there, we moved into legislative advancements in terms of like by right affordable housing. So to lower the costs by streamlining approval for affordable housing, right? And then the next innovation was like these backyard cottages, these little backyard, they call them ADUs, and, streamlining legislation to make those happen and even having a vote to make them a shoo-in. In the middle of this, the Trump tax cuts hit, and the way you fund affordable housing and do renewable energy stuff is through tax credit finance, right? Tax equity finance. This is like if you're a corporation or a really rich person and you owe a lot of taxes, you can invest what you owe in taxes into a project the government approves of and then pay less taxes, right? So, but when you lower the tax rate from, 39% to 17, whatever, you lose that incentive to invest in these things like affordable housing, because that's tax equity finance oriented. So we want to get ahead of it because our nonprofit developers are telling us, look, we're scared that we're not going to have any money to make stuff, senior housing, you name it. So, luckily I'm here in my district in South Berkeley. We have some real blockchain pioneers here